right? Or to be professionally very good. So that is our ultimate goal. So what all the elders say, what do they say? Beta chote chote चीजों पे concentrate मत करो. Look at the ultimate goal, right? So when the artificial learning or deep learning system started to learn to do this task very efficiently, as good as human beings said, okay, this is child's play. Let's try and do something which only human beings can do. That is trying to achieve some superior goal. So then we come up with something called as reinforcement learning. So what is reinforcement learning? This is also again a type of machine learning. In this, there is an agent. Agent is the person who are the agent or is something which is taking action, right? And there is an environment. Environment is something which changes as per the action. To give an example, driving. So driving is an example of reinforcement learning. So what is the ultimate aim? To drive safely without falling and without hurting others, and also that is the ultimate goal, driving, right? So to achieve that, who is the agent? The person who is driving. And what is the environment? Environment is the traffic, the traffic around us, the road, the weather condition, whether it is raining, whether it is dark, whether it is day, whether it is night. So all these are the environment. So whatever you do, action, suppose I switch on the light, so environment has changed, right? So in this reinforcement learning, the agent is continuously adapting itself to environment and it is taking certain actions. What is it trying to achieve? What is called as reward. So at every step it gets what is called as reward. Either it is a punishment or it is a good thing. If I press accelerator and the brakes simultaneously together, what will happen? The car will stop, right? So that is, I'll get a punishment. So this is a wrong thing, wrong action I have taken. So that over a period of time, the system learns to ultimately what is achieve its goal. It is also called as return. Okay. So after a period of learning these rewards, so I know, so I come up with a policy, right? Policy is like what is my strategy? So when I'm trying to drive, say it's raining, when I'm trying to drive in a rainy environment, my strategy would be to maximize safety. So the goal has changed. So goal is safety. But if I'm in hurry, so the goal will change. So now the goal is to quickly reach to my destination. So I'll automatically, what do I do? I'll change my policy. From a safe driver, I'll become a rash driver. So you're getting my point? So this is how reinforcement learnings work. Okay. So now moving on to Gen AI. So generative AI is a buzzword nowadays. So what was the need for doing generative AI? Generative AI is required because we want the AI to do certain actions, right? We want the AI to, in nursing profession, we want to take away the mundane jobs. How many of you love writing long case sheets? None of us, right? So we want AI system to do something. We said, okay, diagnosis, that's okay, we can do that. We have our brains, we can use our brains. But we want the AI systems to do something which we don't like, right? None of us want to get up at 2 o'clock in the night and give a tablet to a patient, right? Yes or no? So we want something which can do these actions automatically. So generative AI is an artificial intelligence system which can generate either action or output on its own, right? So for example, we want the system to generate an image, right? Why do we want to generate an image? For so many reasons, right? So suppose I want to train a system to diagnose pneumonia. So I need 1000 images or 1 lakh images of x-rays of pneumonia to diagnose, right? Because if you remember, I said machine learning models learn by data, examples. So if I don't have an example, suppose I am trying to teach a system to diagnose a very rare disease, which is 1 in 1 lakh. So if I have to get 1000 cases of disease which is very rare, but 1 in 1 lakh, I'll not be able to generate. So I need something which can generate data on its own from thin air, right? So what we call something called as GANs, generative AI adversarial networks. So what do they do? From the random noise, they come out with a image. How many of you tried these image generating apps like Midjourney, DALL-E? How many of anyone of you tried? So you just have to give them a prompt and it will generate an image on its own. Okay. So this was all going on nicely. So till 2 years back, even though AI was there, none of us were not that much bothered. We said, okay, this is all something which is to be done or can be done in the big companies. In general, day-to-day practice, it's not going to make any difference, right? We want something. So people have come up with transformers, right? And you'll be surprised to know the transformers have been invented by a psychologist, not by a engineer. So what does transformer do? As the name says, it converts an input, whether it is a text, whether it is a voice, whether it is image, into a context, because that is the next level we wanted the AI systems to learn how to give the context. Suppose if I ask the question, who am I? All of us you know, because you know the context, right? And what am I doing? So again, the context is so you're able to answer. So even though you don't know the answer, I have not told you, but looking at the context, you have come to the answer. So that's what the transformers do. So they have something called self-attention. So it is able to get the context. So that was the next thing, human thing, which we taught the machines to do. How to get the context. What is asking? Suppose a kid is asking, Alexa, play my favorite song. So it has to know the context. So who is asking? Whether he's in good mood, whether he was asking for what, whether he's from India, whether it's from USA, whether it's a Tamilian, whether it is a Hindi guy. So accordingly, it has to change its output. So this has led to something called large language models. So this is the ChatGPT. So what does it do? So when people were training the systems using transformers to learn the context, they have observed something interesting. The interesting thing was when you give a very big data. So what they did was this ChatGPT OpenAI, they have fed in volumes and volumes, millions and billions of data to the system, to the transformer. So they have found out that system was able to learn to speak, to talk, and to create things like human beings do. How it does, we are still don't know very clearly. Like the previous keynote speaker also said, it's a black box. How it has figured out the context and how it was able to mimic the human creativity, we really don't know. But this is what the large language models have achieved. So with large language models, even the creativity has been sort of, we taught the systems to do it. So unsupervised learning is a system, a type of machine learning where we don't know the ground truth. So the need was in nursing. Why we need machine learning? Because the workload is increasing, the expectations are increasing. We want to build efficient systems, like we want systems which are very cheap, and accuracy, we want to improve accuracy, and we want to accessibility to increase. So if I have to look, I will be going very fast because these things have I already covered. So we can use the systems to diagnose early detection. So can you guess how this, where did it take up this image from? No, the first one. So this has not been copied. This has been created by AI, DAL-E. So I gave a prompt. I want the system to create an image where a nurse is using AI system to diagnose myocardial infarction on a ECG. So this was a prompt I have given. In 10 seconds, the system had created a image. Okay. Second, we want to help the systems to clinical decision support. So again, these images have been created using AI. So I gave the prompt, an Indian nurse trying to teach people to take medication or dietary advice. So these are the common things which we do day in, day out. So with these systems, they are able to copy our human beings. So like since morning we've been hearing about all these AI assistants, AI robots, AI agents, so I'll not go into much depth about it. So coming to predicting critical event or outcome is one of the biggest problem we want to solve. So how do we do it? We use predictive analytics. So predictive analytics, basically it's a type of data analytics where we are trying to predict the future outcome by using statistical algorithms and using large data and using machine learning tools. So broadly we can divide into regression and classification models or time series models. Like this, you know, if I give you this pattern of temperature, can you tell what is the diagnosis? This is a step ladder type of fever, right? So all of you know this is a typhoid. So this is a time series analysis.